Hello and welcome to another episode of Kerbal Space Program. My name is Seth. In our last episode, we were able to get our comms network set up around Kerbin with a great bit of difficulty. And what we're going to try and do is launch essentially the same craft out to the Mun to deploy the satellites around there. Now, we had a fair amount of Delta V left over in the craft when we launched them, so I don't think we need to modify that too much. The satellites themselves had a good amount of Delta V. We did not do a very efficient burn around Kerbin, so that works in our favor. So we should be able to pretty much just launch the same craft, get it to the Mun, put our satellites in orbit. We may have some trouble getting the satellites in orbit due to communications issues, as in because we don't have the communication satellites out there, we're not going to have communications. So we'll just work on that as best we can. We probably can't rely on doing too many maneuvers on the dark side of the planet, for want of a better word. I know it's not technically the dark side of the planet, but the side of the planet that faces opposite Kerbin. So we'll take the same craft, the Kerbalism S01, we'll rename it Kerbalism S02. The staging was all fine. Just thinking about that Delta V. If I just give that a little bit of extra kick there by giving it some more SRBs, I have no idea if this is going to work. I have a feeling though that it is certainly going to be a little bit too powerful. It was on the last launch, we've doubled it. So we might actually drop that down to 50%. And I was pretty happy with everything else. It's been a little while since I did this, so I don't remember anything else being problematic. Just that basically. Remember to turn the game audio up again for you. Sorry, I'm a professional. Confetti. Flame shot deploy on, and four-sided. I think that pretty much does it. We should be right to launch this craft. So it's the Kerbalism S02. Place comsat around the Mun. Part of Project Callisto, and we are launching sometime. Yeah, what happens if I actually make those four, because that stage did not successfully land last time. They've already got parachutes, they're good. Okie dokie. Let's have at it, see what happens. I'm thinking explosions are going to happen, that's what. And you can see the load times haven't gotten any better since the last time. Unfortunately, there's not much I can do about that, I'm afraid. It is what it is. So let's have a look at the location of Mun in relation to us, and it's directly above us, so we cannot possibly do that. We'll come around the planet. Ooh. Maybe a little bit more. There's probably too far, but let's do it anyway. Throttle down. SAS on. Launch, throttle up. I've staged. I double hit the spacebar and it deployed my parachutes. I cut. 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 Oh, I don't have a hope of trying to recover this, do I? This is going to impact the ground hard. I quite simply screwed that up. Yep. Well, something survived. Yeah, so that was not the most it's not the smartest thing I've done. So what we might do is I'm gonna revert, we'll just time warp again, and yeah. So it's a failure. Stage failure on launch pad. Destroyed on impact with Kerbin. And I'm not even going to bother getting the notes from that because it just failed. Yep. So what did happen with our staging? I'm pretty sure I hit the spacebar twice. But I would have thought that if I did that, the yeah, I would have thought that those decouplers sort of gone, but not sure. I mean, the staging looks right. I honestly think I just hit the button again. So let's try that again. So we'll time warp to about day 143. Grab the Galaxia 3. It's the same craft, just renamed. Hopefully. Hopefully, ASP loads. Okay, so let's check out where we are in relation to KSP. We are in a terrible position for it. I don't know why that surprises me. See, where are we in relation to it? Oh, okay. Ah, that's probably too far. Tell you what, if we launch now, we can make that. So, SAS on. SAS on. Throttle. Oh, still time warping. There we go. SAS on. Throttle down. Launch. Oh, I'll tell you what, 50% rust on these may... Oh no, it's just enough. Still think we might have launched a bit later. We should still be okay. We'll get into orbit. It just may not be the most efficient, but make do. So let's bring up our flight recorder and put on our pressure so that we can see. That's our pressure, the blue line, and our white line is the altitude. I'm just going to leave that open. I'm going to slowly bring the throttle down to get our thrust to weight ratio down to about 1.5, because we want it to sort of taper off a bit. Atmospheric efficiency is still climbing, which means our pressure is still increasing, and we can see that on the graph of the flight recorder. And again, drop it back down. Well, I'm at throttle 0 at the moment, so I'm all running off those SRBs, so we'll just have to ride this out as we pass through max dynamic pressure. Which should be soon. Because we kind of hit the speed of sound at around about this point here, where dynamic pressure starts to drop off, the atmospheric efficiency is going down, which is good because we're not a plane, we don't have wings. Our thrust to weight ratio continues to climb. I'm a little bit hesitant to turn this because of the instability I'm going to have with not having any... Oh, go away. Without having any control. But I'm going to bring that center engine back on the swivel just so that I can get some control. And I'm going to have to turn this. As you can see MUN rising there. I am trying to turn it, but things should get easier now. Throttle up. I think they impacted themselves, which that was close to me. So again, at this point here, atmosphere not playing too much of a role. The atmospheric pressure is still dropping. A little bit curious. I want to bring that back up though, that flight recorder. Okay, and you can see there that that squiggle is the atmospheric pressure dropped significantly. Okay. So now we're just going to burn as much as possible to head to the MUN. Enjoy the scenery for a little bit. We'll set the MUN as the target, have a look. So we are, our apoapsis is still increasing, but our time to apoapsis is still decreasing, which isn't, I mean, it's not bad. Ordinarily you probably wouldn't want that to be the case, but I know that you can see now it's immediately time to apoapsis is starting to increase. We've just sort of gone through that stage and now we are pushing our apoapsis further and further away from us. So just getting ready to stage. Get rid of those fairings as well. And yeah, we're still in the atmosphere at the moment, but it's not going to have any noticeable, you know. And now we're in space. So let's extend this antenna because that will give us the ability to communicate once we get out to the Mun. So this stage has 1000 delta V in it, which will get us there. It may not circularize. Well, this could be interesting. I mean, I've kind of made the assumption that we'll have enough delta V for this. I haven't really calculated it, so just sort of guessed based on the last flight. I think that orbital stage is going to not have enough to put us into orbit. It's basically going to get us to the Mun, and that will be about all. And I think these satellite stages between them should have enough to get us into. I don't need a close orbit. I just need probably, let's do some maths, 2000, 4000 plus 4000 is 8000. Let's bring up a quick calculator. So, old matey Pythagoras, if I got 2000 kilometer orbit, the Mun is what, 150 kilometers, so it'll be 2150 times 2150 times 2 equals a big number. Take the square root of that, 3000. Okay, so if I have, and this is, I'm rounding, if I have an orbit of 2000 kilometers, those antennas will reach that. We're out of fuel. Okay, so it didn't even have enough fuel to get us there. Ditch that stage. That's actually a little bit of a worry, to be honest. Activate that stage. Deploy that and go. This may not work. This may not work. But I'm going to time accelerate for this because this would be an awful long burn otherwise. Yeah, I'm actually not. Oh wait. Need to physics warp, not time accelerate. They're still burning. So I can't physics warp, is that what we're saying? There we go. No. Why can't I physics warp? I thought I could, anyway. Doesn't matter, I'm burning and I'm still not. I'm not going to make it. Oh, we might. Yeah, okay, so the fuel is still going down. We are still getting there. It's just not showing the burn. Okay, so what's that? 500 kilometers. That'll do. Now I'm just a bit worried that if I time accelerate, I'm going to have that issue again where it's obviously having rounding errors, so I'm actually just going to be a little bit gentle in the time acceleration here. So yeah, if I get around the Mun, ignoring the radius of the Mun, if I have an orbit of 2,000 kilometers, our good friend Pythagoras says for the whole triangle thing that in between, so let's say I have the 4 satellites equidistant, one there, one there, one there, one there, around the Mun at 2,000 meters in altitude, I will be roughly 3,040 meters in between the diagonals there, which is fine because we know that our basic antennas will do 5,000 kilometers. Now I know on the craft we've got better than basic antennas, but the ground vehicles that we put on the Mun may only have the basic. So that would then allow us to communicate. If we sent a vehicle like that to the Mun, there would be a gap in the middle where we probably could communicate too, because yeah, so I was going to say there'd be a little gap in the middle of about 1,000 kilometers where it could communicate, but that probably won't be an issue because the satellites will be 2,000 kilometers out. That should be okay. I'm going to pick up the acceleration one little touch. Coming up to Mun encounter in a couple of hours game time, but time acceleration means that's minutes. Right, now let's have a look at what we need to do. Circularize this. I don't have to make it perfect, I just have to get it around. So there's a Mun apoapsis of 2,000, so let's do that. It's 160. Oh, let's just tweak that a little bit. Yeah, okay, that'll do. It's good, we're going to have to adjust it anyway. So that's 170 meters per second delta V. Now I don't have that. I've only got 97, but what I do have is more fuel tanks. So I'm going to transfer some fuel between the stages because that rear engine is the one that's going to be doing all the work. Okay, excellent. Now let's line up for our maneuver. And let's time warp a little bit. Okay, so let's accelerate. So that's a 3-minute burn. We're burning a little bit late. It's not too much of a concern. As long as it gets us an orbit, I'm happy. We will fine tune the orbit and work out the orbital period and break it into quarters, and I'll do it a little bit more cleaner than I did the Kerbin one because that may have been a little bit confusing as I screwed it up and had to adjust a number of times to get that right. So it's only 20 meters per second to go. There we go. So there's our orbit. And what I might do is I'm actually going to make that's pretty ordinary, like it's not straight. I am going to fix that again in HyperEdit just because. Apoapsis, I'm going to just plot a burn to make this something close to circular. 2 meters per second. Yeah, I've got that. Just so that it would demonstrate still physics warping. just so that it will demonstrate the way that I wanted to do the satellites, as in, am I going to have a community? Yeah, I'm going to have communications during this too, just so that I can show you how we drop the orbital period down by a quarter, burn, wait in orbit, release the satellite, burn it up, wait in orbit. It'll make sense. Okay, so that's a 51-second burn. We've got the fuel for that. We'll just send that out there. This will give us, you know, just a rough circular orbit. Okay, and so what's that? 1,160. Yeah, so I'll even probably redo that a touch. Hurry ups, prograde, and just burn. Okay, 2001, and you can see our orbital period there is 3 days. What's nearly 4 days in SP time. I may not have communications to do this burn. Actually, I will, because I'm inclined. So that's actually an advantage of being in this inclination. I may even keep that inclination. Hey, no, retrograde. I forgot to adjust that. Okay, so there you go. That's good enough. So our orbital period is 3 days, 4 hours. And we will look at adjusting that on the next episode. And to be honest, that inclination is actually going to be somewhat advantageous to us. It really could be. So I'm probably going to leave it. Well, I think for now, that will probably do it. I will finish this episode here, and I look forward to speaking to you next time, where we release our satellites and put them into orbit. Thank you for watching. Bye.